Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome here from Ihnen in Germany to wherever you are in the world. I welcome you to our today's webinar, the fifth of 6 parts of our 360 degrees LED by Exertis ProAV, LED by us here at Distribution in Ihnen. Today's webinar will be in English as we have Pat Lange from digiLED today with us. I'm very excited what he will tell us and you today, because today we are talking about the more creative LED solutions. The LED solutions and installations a bit besides the standard LED walls. And I'm even more excited to introduce you today the completely new product in our LED distribution series. You will be the first to know about this product. And with this, I will hand over to Pat and hope you are excited as I am.
Good morning, everyone. This is Pat Lange from digiLED, and welcome to this webinar. I will start sharing my screen right now. Here we go. And Georg, please let me know if anything is not right. And we'll switch off my camera. I just want to say hi to everyone. Thank you for joining this webinar. The first part, I will talk about obviously digiLED and how we can help you become LED experts and transform your client's vision into reality. And in the second part, I will talk about new products. We are introducing 2 new product ranges, which should be of very good interest for you guys. The webinar is planned to last for about 30 minutes, and I don't know if you want to ask questions afterwards or something like that. We'll be hanging around anyway. Thank you very much. All right, so let's stop the camera right now and let's roll. Okay. So you probably have heard of digiLED by now. The company is was set up in 2003. So it's about 18 years old now this year. We're a bit of a hybrid company, and I would say we kind of combine the best of both worlds. There's China operations, so we have an office in Shenzhen with 10 permanent employees, and that gives us the ability to offer competitive pricing and unprecedented quality control. Also, we have the choice of contract manufacturers, so we don't own factory or a factory as such. What we own is intellectual property, IP. IP, I think, is what makes manufacturers stand out, is the quality of design and products. So we own our own molds and products, and then we can choose which factory we're going to work with, which gives us resilience. We can sort out problems of supply chain by having the choice of different factories. And also we have the true Western expertise. We are based near London, South London in the UK, near Gatwick Airport, and we have a clear understanding of clients' requirements, being in Europe, well, sort of, it's the UK, geographically at least, but we won't go there. We've localized support and services. We are a proper solution specifier. Let's start this presentation. I'll show you a few projects and how we designed the suitable solution for our clients, how we helped, and you'll see it should be quite entertaining, if anything. And I'll start with this screen. It's just showing that we gain the trust of large corporations such as Sony. So we've often been under the radar, not necessarily very visible, but we've done many screens for big brands, Panasonic, Toshiba. Here's Sony, and I'll show you a quick video. There's a challenge here. The challenge was to describe the stadium curve. So I mean to follow the curve of the stadium and fitting in exactly with existing LED screens. So we did, I'll show you the video here. So the video will play in this format, not full screen, because this is the best compromise for video over a webinar. So we did fit this large screen here. It's about 1,000 square meters. Pixel pitch is 16 millimeters, outdoor rated for brightness and obviously waterproofing. So Sony are very good at doing, as you know, C-LED, very high resolution, fantastic high definition products. But they actually do lots of other projects with LED, and they just use third-party suppliers for those. And we are one of them. This is for Sony in Japan, which we're quite proud of, to be honest. Another good example here of one of our probably biggest projects to date was for a rental company called Go Vision in the US, where here the challenge was to obviously manage the weight of the screen whilst designing a rapid demounting system. Now, you would think that's a permanent installation. Once it's up there, no one's going to touch it. But actually, no, this is dismantled on a regular basis and used as a rental screen for other venues. Now, this single face here is the size of a tennis court, right? So there's 4 of them and a ring underneath LED ticker. The whole thing with the structure weighs 700 tons. And actually, it is dismantled on a regular basis to go in other venues, such as this one. So the challenge, the pixel pitch is 6 millimeter, which is probably what we call like an overkill for given the viewing distance. You don't need 6 millimeters, but when you know it's going to be used in rental events, I mean for events and other scenarios, you probably understand why they went for 6 millimeters. So it's outdoor rated, 6 mil, high brightness. And then we have this, we do this kind of screen. So again, we've done lots of venues, and here the challenge is again it's an outdoor rated screen. The O2 Arena in London is notorious for not being very waterproof, so there's a high risk of humidity within the building, and we came up with this solution where the curve is organic. It's not constant, it varies, to follow the structure here. So that's about, I think it's a 10 millimeter outdoor rated screen, which is convex, curved here to follow the shape of the wall. An interesting project for large shopping mall in Qatar. This actually got us a lot of publicity, and here the challenge, as you can guess, is working environment of 50 degrees Celsius or superior to that, 24/7 operation, bespoke LED modules, complex curvature, including smooth right angle corners, concave, convex, blah, 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 the whole thing. All those displays, total surface area is about 800 square meters. And here you can see that the curve here is concave and then convex on this side, slightly convex here, together with a smooth corner. So the corner is not right angled, it's smooth, so you can't see any edge here. It has to be according to client's requirements. So the challenge is not only to come up with an adequate solution for your clients, it is also to come up with a reliable solution, because a screen like this is going to be under severe constraints over time and has to work for more than 6 months. Obviously, we want 5, 7, 10 years operation. So as I said, it's not just adequate solution, it's reliability as well is what we are known for. That's a very recent project here. We did, you may have guessed, we do a lot of business in the US. digiLED do about 70% in the US, and the rest is Europe and Japan. We have operations in Italy, Germany with Exertis, UK, South Africa, Japan, and the United States. Here, there's quite a complex shapes, different tickers inside screens as well. So yeah, the constraint was lightweight. That was a big challenge because there was an old venue where you couldn't put any kind of weight on the roof, and different LED tile sizes, including rhomboids. Rhomboids, these are this shape stuff, which is all different angles. And I'm gonna go to this interesting one. So here, because we have access to a large portfolio, we were able to combine two different products. Now, the challenge of using two different products is color matching and obviously image consistency over the entire screen. So why would you use flexible screen and flat panels if we could say, well, we're just going to use flexible screen LED panels, all over. The problem is price. Flexible is more complicated to install and therefore more costly than flat panels. I'll show you this brief video to show you what it looks like in this cinema entrance. So the flexible is only in the corner. Pixel pitch is 2.6, and the only way you can achieve consistent image resolution and color is by using the same LED, not only the same type of LED, SMD 1010 probably, but also the same batch. It has to be the same batch of LED, otherwise you will never manage to get color matching products. And that's how we can do this. I'll show you this photo of the installation. DigiThin 2.6 here, straight to this thin structure, and then flexible 2.6, DigiFlex 2.6 in the corners. You can see that the installation is more complex with flexible tiles, more time consuming, complicated structure. So it will definitely be much more expensive if we did everything with flexible. So the combination is a nice way to save money, but you have to be able to manage the whole supply chain here to be able to come up with a viable solution. This is a shopping center in New York, Manhattan. Quick video to show you the scale and the different screens. There's 172 square meters. I'm going to scroll down a bit. There we go. Show you the screens. So you've got strips on the side, you've got ceilings, corners. There you go. Those are ceiling screens as well. And again here. And one quick note about why we chose to use outdoor rated. This is because there are openings, they're not going to be necessarily under heavy rainfall or anything. But bear in mind that as soon as there is communication with the outdoors, there is a risk of humid air, humidity coming into the space, and therefore you have to use waterproof LED tiles, LED panels. So indoor means completely separated and closed, separate from outdoors. As soon as there is one opening here, you have to use an outdoor rated product because of humidity more than just direct rainfall. So this is 3.9 outdoors. And I'm just going to focus on a little bit of, so this is one of the strips, probably this or second level. And I'm going to drill a little further to show you. There we go, screens off. And during the installation, we designed everything. Thus, we came up excuse me, with this installation, with this structure, which is a simple metal sheet onto which the magnetic LED tiles will attach to. And they're all at an angle, so there's quite a lot of design involved. This is the whole layout of the entire site. These are the screens, and if I briefly zoom in, you can see those small rectangles. They are the power distribution packs, PDPs. They provide, those boxes have everything: receiving cards, hub cards, power supplies in one box, and those squares are the LED tiles. Zooming out, and this is what we came up with. Lightweight, very thin metal sheet, magnetic tiles with lanyards, obviously for security, and PDPs, and that's the actual design we used for this project. Okay, so we came up with this because that was the only way to address all the challenges. So we helped design everything, the structure, bespoke cabinets with the integrators. We installed with them, but we can also install a complete site on behalf of an integrator if they don't have the capacity to take this on themselves. This train station is in Manhattan, and that's right behind Madison Square Garden. Here, I just want to show you that we have the trust of big government, local government, when it comes to big projects. So those are 4 LED screens here. They're about 13 meters wide by 4 high. It's not just about size, is it? Pixel pitch is 3.9 millimeter, and here the challenge is front axis, okay, which is quite a usual and common challenge, but the environment of a train station is very specific. The trains, when they break, they produce ferrous dust, okay, metallic dust when they break, and that dust gets into the air and gets, you know what, they get stuck onto magnets. So if you use magnets for the mechanism for your front access screens, you will end up with, after a few months or maybe a year or so, with dusts, magnetic ferrous dust stuck in the front of your screens. And we have seen 2 instances of screens in train stations which had to be replaced by the manufacturers because of this very issue. So we managed to come up with a viable solution for this train station in New York. This is another example of a combination of 2 different products. So it's a little bit small, but flexible and transparent. We tend to always advise for the best, or I would say the biggest pixel pitch, okay? Pixel pitch, the narrowest pixel pitch means more expensive, but for here, the transparent is only for effect. You don't need a 3.9 or 2.9 transparent. 7.8 is completely suitable. What's important that it comes from the same supplier. They are very different products, but again, color matching is key. So you have to calibrate them next to each other at the same time for color matching. Just a brief loop again, because it's a very short video. I always have a conversation with my clients. Where is your target audience? You know, here we're on the other side of the road, okay, and then obviously within the building. But do you really need the highest resolution? Target audience versus closest audience. The closest, it's interesting and important to know your closest, you know, people, visitor. Where are they going to be? Are they going to be able to be 1 or 2 meters away? But most importantly, where is your target audience? You know, are you targeting people on the other side of the road? Are you targeting people in the building? This is key, because you don't want to waste money going for a very high resolution screen where it's not necessarily needed. Here, for example, you could say anyone can come up to the screen and touch it. So do you need a 1.2 millimeter pixel pitch because someone very close is going to see the pixelation? This is 6.6 millimeter pixel pitch because you don't really need a very high resolution. You're targeting a very different audience. I'm just going to play this briefly and scroll to the middle. and it's all 6.6 millimeter. Again, here you could argue whether it's interesting to go lower or higher resolution, but the fact that you can use the same product for both displays, I mean the ring plus the other, I would say fake trees, those ones, same pixel pitch, same product means easier maintenance, same batch of LEDs, so you can use the same tiles to maintain the whole site, which is very important, maintenance over time. While we are in Italian design, I just also wanted to show you another video we did with these guys in terms of creativity. You may have the Clépière, they are very big in retail. So we suggested this design. Let's see. Okay, so it's nothing practical. It's just showing off technology, basically. So we suggested this idea of this cuboid shape that you can extend, basically. So it's quite elaborate mechanics. I think the pixel pitch is around 3.9 millimeter, if I remember well. Again, it has to be high brightness. Obviously, there's lots of ambient light in the building with corners, and the whole structure comes up and down. Go back to our presentation. Here we're using the word, shoehorn. We won't shoehorn our products into your vision. We'll make what you dream. This shoehorn image is just, I didn't get, I'm not English, I'm French, so sometimes I just don't understand every vocabulary my colleagues use. The shoehorn, when you have shoes and they're too small, you need a tool to force your foot into your shoe, right? That tool, manual tool, is a shoehorn. What we mean is, if we're not going to sell you what we have on the shelf, we're going to find the appropriate solution and the correct products to match your client's vision. Okay, if you use a supplier who doesn't do flexible LED screen, how do you come up with this? I mean, most manufacturers will tell you that you don't need flexible or you don't need transparent because they can't do it. Okay, but that's not what we do. We transform your client's vision into a reality, going with the right solution. That's our promise at digiLED. Here, a quick example of another screen before I move on to the product presentation. Sheer size, again, in the US, they have a large screen, but here what's interesting is a 2.6 millimeter digi-thin screen, and we use the panels, you can see at the beginning here, vertically to create a smooth, faceted curving, but it's far away enough so it looks smooth. It's not flexible. We've used digi-thin in a vertical arrangement to create faceted curve, but because digi-thin is about 250 millimeter wide, when you use it vertical, it's still smooth enough for this type of curvature. There we go. I think it's gives you a brief overview of our ability to realize your client's dream, whether you're a consultant or an AV integrator. Our expertise can become your weapon, to put your client's ideas into a reality with viability, because it's not just about creating any kind of screen, but it also has to be viable. Any money can buy anything, but obviously it's always kind of limited and there's a budget, so it has to be viable and reliable. On that note, I'm going to use the last 5-10 minutes to present 2 new product ranges, and the first one is the posters. Posters are very useful for quick deployment of LED screens. We have two different models. This is slightly too big, don't know why. But they can be put into landscape, portrait, suspended at an angle. And we have two different pixel pitches. Indoor comes up at 1.9, 2.5, and outdoors is 2.5 millimeter, which is quite high res for outdoors. And we also have double-sided. Now, this is quite suitable for obviously permanent installation in a window or in a shopping mall, but for rental, this is also quite interesting. You could have, a few in your rental fleet and then have them for a few days, very quick to deploy. You can put them together to create a larger display as well. So wherever you can't have a projector or and you need a quick and easy solution, that's a nice possibility, nice scenario with the posters. These are available now from Exertis. I think they are already on their system, ready to go. And the other product ranges I wanted to show you is our sub 1 millimeter range. We have now in 0.9 millimeter pixel pitch, we have two different models. There's a COB. COB stands for chip on board. I'm not going to go into a very deep technical description of chip on board, but it's mostly what it brings is very low risk of damage, very durable. And the other is mini LED. We do a 0.9 millimeter version of our nano series. And I'm just going to quickly show you the COB model, product range, sorry. Advantages is robust screen surface. That's the LED is encapsulated into a coating here, so you can't touch it and break it. So that's quite useful for public spaces, for example, or if you think the screen surface is at risk of being touched or damaged by, I don't know, cleaners, staff in your company, or public and visitors, COB is the way to go. And 0.9 obviously is quite interesting, but there's also 1.2, 1.5, and 1.9. It doesn't have to be sub 1 millimeter. And COB has gone a long way since it was first introduced, and it's now quite affordable as well. I'll give you ideas of pricing in a second. The only downside is when the screen is off, COB tends to be quite tiny, so you can see a little bit of inconsistency between LED tiles when the screen is black. So that's the thing to know if you're in the boardroom and the screen is sometimes off and you have very demanding clients, maybe COB isn't for them. It's just you have to be aware, and we would always be very clear with the pros and cons of a product. But in, I don't know, maybe it's a museum or visitors center where there are lots of people and some kids might kick the screen or touch it, you may want to consider COB for longevity and reliability. We have a wall mounting frame for our COB product, so you don't have to go out and search for the right brackets and get it sourced from a third party. It comes with the screen, so it's a very easy process for for integrators to buy. And just to give you a rough idea of pricing, a 4K screen in pitch 0.9 millimeter is 3.6 meters wide by 2 meters high, and that price is end user pricing. Okay, it's not trade or anything. This is end user pricing. So yes, it's 150 grand, right? But it's about half the money that it was maybe 18 months ago. The price has gone down significantly. Okay, and you don't have to have a 4K screen, and you don't have to have pitch 0.9, so that can be lower resolution screen. But I just wanted to give you brief idea of price of COB, and with the reliability of COB, it's a safe investment, you know, over 5 to 10 years at a very high resolution. And on that note, I am done in exactly 30 minutes. Thank you very much for being here, for your attention, for your interest. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them today or by email, and we'll be happy to help. Georg, over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Pat. I think we had a very good impression of what is really possible with LED walls at the moment, and how especially digiLED is able to bend the edges of possibilities with LED. And I cannot say it often enough that with digiLED we have a manufacturer that is able to do everything from the scratch up to the final installation for you, no matter how complicated the project is or how the vision of the customer is. There is nothing we cannot do with digiLED, and we have a really good quality with those products, because digiLED is always searching for the best quality of the LEDs and forwarding them to you. If you have any questions, use the questions tab for now, so we can answer them. There is one question, Pat, if there are some images where we can see the difference of the surface of COB in comparison to IMD mini LED, often said.
I haven't got a photo right here, but yeah, something I can definitely arrange. It is a bit more reflective, as I said earlier, and because it's more reflective, when you have two tiles together, you can sometimes see a little bit of difference. This is the manufacturing process with COB that's tricky, because to have all of those LEDs coated, there's only a limited amount of tiles you can do in one batch, so therefore they tend to be slightly different. So as I said, with COB, the only slight issue, you know, we can talk about compromise, is when the screen is black. So if there's no content, you may see, you know, a little bit of tiling effect. But yeah, I'll try to get something. Absolutely, then make a note. I can, if that's okay, I'll send that offline. Come to this right this second. And that's why we have a mini LED option as well. Mini LED is very matte black. So when it's black, it's really much more uniform. But mini LED is more fragile, so it's always like a compromise.
Okay. Any other questions for the moment? Yeah, if everything is clear for the moment, there is nothing more than to say thank you for your time and for your interest in our today's webinar. Next week on Tuesday, we have our last webinar with LG. And I hope I see a lot of you then again. If you are interested in the LED posters, just let me know. We are ready to quote them and send you further information. From my point of view, a really interesting product for signage applications for retail stores and then everything like this. At a very low price. We have by ourselves been really surprised about how cost efficient those solutions are. So let me know what I can do for you, and thank you for your time, and see you hopefully next Tuesday.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.